Jerry Seinfeld's "don't break the chain" method is as simple a hack as any you'll hope to find when trying to form habits or get a steady routine going. Here's a little story about the advice a software developer, Brad Isaac, got from Jerry Seinfeld himself when he asked him if he had any tips for a young stand-up comic. In his own words, he said the way to be a better comic was to create better jokes, and the way to create better jokes was to write every day. But his advice was better than that. He had a gem of a leverage technique he used on himself, and you can use it to motivate yourself, even when you don't feel like it. He revealed a unique calendar system he used to pressure himself to write. Here's how it works. He told me to get a big wall calendar that had a whole year on one page. The next step was to get a big red magic marker. He said for each day that I do my task of writing, I get to put a big red X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain. Just keep at it, and the chain will grow longer every day. You'll like seeing that chain, especially when you get a few weeks under your belt. Your only job next is to not break the chain. Brad Isaac goes on to say, daily action builds habits. It gives you practice and will make you an expert in a short time. If you don't break the chain, small improvements accumulate into large improvements rapidly. On the other hand, skipping one day makes it easier to skip the next. Here's a don't break the chain routine I used to create a personal database of about 18,000 Peanuts or Snoopy comic strips in Evernote. I set aside exactly 25 minutes a day, every day, for a period of 98 days. Let's take a look. If I search for the phrase dark and stormy night, it'll return about, well, exactly 40 notes, which means 40 comic strips with that phrase. This project took almost 50 hours in total, but I paced myself and I broke it down into bite-sized chunks. Now, back to Workflowy. Although one doesn't get a typical calendar layout in Workflowy, we do have all the benefits that an outliner has to offer. Most of all, that you get to pop your Don't Break the Chain outline in anywhere you want in your Workflowy account. Here are a few ways to implement a Don't Break the Chain routine in Workflowy. Method number 1, recycle a task. For small, straightforward activities such as flossing your teeth, you can simply recycle your task daily and add to your running total. So let's change this to day 9, day 10, and so we go. You can also signify what your target is. They say it takes about 21 days to form a habit. So let's go ahead and double that just for good measure. And then once again, all I would do is change 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13 as the days roll by. You may also want to give this task a Don't Break the Chain tag. That way you can filter for it directly from your home page. Like so. And here's the task at hand, right over here. Here's another method for the same activity, flossing your teeth. And let's zoom in again. You might want to try setting up a bullet for every day in the routine, and as you go, you can knock them off by completing them one by one. Now, if you have a more substantial project and you also want to record visually how much time you put into any particular project daily, you could use tags with colored backgrounds for blocks of time. Here's an example of what a don't break the chain routine might look like when recording how many sets of 25-minute periods you put into a project daily. All I do is type in, if I'm going to add to this, #BK, and I have another 25-minute block. I use this a lot with the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique we're about to look at in the very next screencast.